Milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Oh, it's starting off like that. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is episode number 119 of the Daytripper Photo Show. Tonight, we're going to
It really feels like 140.
Hi, Gabe. How's it going tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. So, how's your week been?
Good. How are you?
As he drinks his whiskey. Okay, so today's show.
That's an indication.
Yeah, before we get too silly, tonight's show is going to be on our photo review. We have had 2 weeks of photos to go over, 2 challenges each week, so we have a lot of pictures to talk about. So we've kind of narrowed down the show to from our original idea to just making it into a photo review. I hope that's okay with everybody, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So it's a little bit of a change of plans, but hopefully it'll go well for everyone. There have been a lot of cool photos submitted. Thank you, everybody, for doing that. Of course, we do have some awesome prizes to give away tonight from our friends at LensPen. Gabe, one thing I learned when I was preparing for the Fire on Ice session, which was amazing, by the way. We had a sellout crowd, lots of people. We had 3 spinners. Talk more about that in a few seconds. It was awesome. But one thing I learned was if you use a lens pen on your lens and there's snow flying around, it kind of smears it all over your lens.
Streaky? Yeah.
So did you realize that if you just use the lens pen blower and just blow at the snow, it just blows right off? There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Hang on. Sweet. That was quick. How'd you have that handy?
I know what you're going to say before you say it.
It's like we're brothers.
Talk about card storage. Hello!
No. Anyway, so yeah, it's great. The little blower that's in the package that Gabriel just showed. If you just take that and blow it at your lens when you're out in the cold, you have to do it that way, of course, because I don't know. There you go. Thank you, Gabriel.
It doesn't work as well when it's still in the package.
No, the air doesn't come out. But what's it doing in the package, Gabe? Dude, you're supposed to use these things.
I don't even know where this came from. Literally, I just kind of looked at my desk one day and I'm like, oh, look, I have an extra lens pen and a blower. I mean, it just appeared. We have so much lens pen gear that it literally just materializes.
Well, I don't know if I'd be complaining about that. I think that's kind of cool.
No, I'm not. It's great.
It is great, but it works better if you take it out of the package. Just a note to everybody watching, lens pen stuff's awesome, but if you leave it in the package, it's not going to do you much good, so take it out of there. Anyway, little tip for you. We had to use that quite a bit when we were out shooting the steel wool. And Gabriel, unfortunately, you couldn't be here for our steel wool session.
No, I was originally booked to be there, but then we had to change the date because it was like minus 40 degrees on the original date that we booked it for, and the date that it got rebooked for, I was shooting a bar mitzvah.
Right. Well, we missed you. It was a lot of fun.
Good, yeah, it was perfect weather for it, too, from what I saw.
Yeah, it really was. It was cool. I mean, it was cold enough that there was still ice, but it was warm enough that we were able to actually enjoy ourselves. We weren't so focused. And this is what I always say when you're doing these outside endeavors in the middle of winter. As soon as you get to about minus 15, that's where it starts to really become a problem. If you focus more on how much your toes hurt than how much you want to make a photo, you're not going to win anything. You're not going to shoot anything good. So it was just above that. Everybody was comfortable, and I don't think many people had their toes frozen off that night. So it worked out pretty good.
Good. I heard that my frolicking was missed.
So it was. Nice. There's nothing like Gabriel frolicking. But, however, there were some pretty cool contraptions that these guys made. One of the folks, Mark, made a long, like a rail, and then he put in the center a motor from a drill and a motor from a drill on either end. And when he started it up, of course, it was battery-powered. So in the middle of the cold, the batteries, I don't think, gave enough charge, and it didn't quite spin as fast as he thought it would. It took him a few tries, and everybody had a couple series of tries to get it right. And oh man, some of the stuff that machine gave. The center spinning one made a perfect orb every single time. So it's not easy to make those orbs. They look really cool. And then the edges gave out this nice big spray, so that was cool. Mike K was there. Mike Manis, as we know him on Google+. He brought his drills and 4 whisks attached to the drill. So as he spun,
nice.
it was awesome. It just flew everywhere. The best was when one of the whisks let go. You could see the photo. It's like a big burst of sparks and this flying, loopy, huge burn. and it's a ghost of a person leaning over to try and grab the whisk afterward. It was pretty cool.
That explains it, because during the bar mitzvah, I randomly just shout out, Daytripper photo is not responsible for any injuries. Like, why am I saying that?
It's like, I'm serious. It's like the lens pen. It just things happen. It was a great night. Everybody had a good time. I think there were 17 people shooting and 3 spinners. And one of the spinners, Sensei J, he was the it was funny actually. He was the what are we calling it? The contraption or the tool of Mark Flinders, who came. Mark brought his spinning device. That's what it is. His device, and his device was Sensei J. And Jay is a martial artist.
Okay.
And
so he's all like, whoa, whoa.
He had the nunchucks, he had the staff, and he would take whisks and put them on the ends of each one. So as he was spinning it, it was awesome. He ended up winning, and he won $100, and he won I had large whisks. I had 3 different whisks that I bought when I was at St. Lawrence Market. Very cool. Special whisks, of course. The Daytripper Photo spinning steel whisk from Awesomeness. And so I had a small one, a medium one, and a large one. And third place won the small one. Second place won the medium one. And first place won the large one. And it was just a lot of fun.
So the large one's a novelty whisk. It's about that big.
No, it's actually more like a small whisk from what you'd normally use, but it was the largest of the 3, so it worked out.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
It was fun. So just so you guys know, we're going to get into a few other little topics before we start the photo review, but the majority of the show will be the review. Navi will be showing up. She's having a meeting with some friends right now, having a good time. She'll be here hopefully around 10 o'clock. And before we get into that, though, if you watch our show on YouTube, if you're watching this after the fact, and you get a kick out of what we're talking about, or there's any kind of knowledge in here that you really get some benefit from, please click like to our YouTube show. Subscribe to our channel. Share it with some friends. Let people know that we're doing this. We have a lot of cool things coming up in the future. We're going to talk about a few of them in a few minutes. And maybe your friends want to know about this. So click like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel, or as our notes say, our 2YouTube channel. Yeah, it's fun stuff.
That.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah, you did. Oh, and I still read it right.
Every time you click like, a puppy gets its wings.
Why do puppies want wings?
Is that not how it goes?
No.
Oh. It always confused me. I just thought it was a good thing.
Well, it sounded good.
How adorable would that be, a puppy with wings? That'd be so cute.
I don't know, but my cat has wings, and it's not a good thing. Trust me.
Your cat doesn't like you. It just sits there and scratches you all day.
No, she likes me a lot. She just likes me so much that she jumps on my shoulders when I'm standing up. I'm 6'4", so she jumps on
She likes to make all the blood be on the outside of you.
It's true. Yeah, it's kind of true. Anyway, what I have to do, I'm standing
there. My cat the other day, it puked while running down the hallway. It's like 13 feet of vomit.
Oh, the things you learn when you watch our show. It's funny. I was just going to say, what I have to do is I have to take a pair of pants and put them over my shoulders so that the butt end is back there and the legs come down like this. So if she jumps up on my shoulders, she grabs the pants and she won't claw through my shirts and stuff. So she's now taken to this thing where she'll jump up from behind and go into the pants, like in between them and into them, and literally crawl up over my shoulder inside the pants, like a big lump of cat with claws digging up. Took way too much time to talk about that. But anyway, long story short, she's fun, and we'll get past that. So, Gabriel, do you want to talk about something that just happened on Google+? What's all this rigmarole going on with things changing and photos separating? And
it's not a huge deal. Basically, Google Plus is breaking into photos and streams. So Google Photos is going to be an independent app on its own, which it already is on Android. When you open up Android, there's the Google Plus logo, and then there's the Photos logo. Or icon, and I think that's Photos is so great and offers so many services, and really neat features that should be utilized more. But especially for people on iOS, people using like say iPhones or iPads and stuff, it's every time you want to get to your photos, you got to open Google Plus, hit the menu bar, click on Photos, and go in that way. I think it's a good idea for them to split it into 2 different services. So the stream is one service and the photos is a standalone service. And I think if they do that and if they do it properly, then it could be a really big contender to fight against the new Photos app coming out from Apple, which sounds like it's going to be marginally better than iPhoto and nowhere near as good as Aperture. So they have a real opportunity to move in and take over the space of the consumer that wants to do more with their mobile pictures. And all the features in Google Plus, the auto awesomes, the stories, and everything like that are just incredible. So I'm excited to see it go that way, and I really don't think it's going to affect anything else. Not to go into this too deeply, but the original architecture for Google Plus was that Google Plus was going to be the backbone for everything Google, and everything Google was going to tie into Google Plus. What they quickly realized is that people don't go one place for everything anymore. It used to be, people went to Facebook for everything, or people went to AOL for everything, or they went to Yahoo for everything, and all their ecosystem was in one area, and they were trying to make Google Plus be that one area. But now people go to Instagram for their photos, they go to Snapchat for their talking, they go to YouTube for their videos, and it's a diversified infrastructure, and Facebook actually caught on to that first. They bought WhatsApp, and they bought Instagram, and Instagram has nothing to do with Facebook. Neither does WhatsApp, and they own all these different properties, are completely segregated from each other that people use for different purposes that are all owned by Facebook. And it took Google a little while to catch on to that. They're starting to catch on that it's not all in one infrastructure anymore, that people are diversifying, and because apps are so easy to use and find, that they're going lots of different places for all their content. So
by splitting it up, it's not like a death knell. It's not something that people have to worry about Google Plus disappearing. It's just a way to clean up your stream and make things a little bit more specific to a need.
Yeah, I think I can't see much changing with the stream section anyways. All I can see is that by moving the pictures out of it, it's going to give them more ability to maybe create a pictures app for the desktop. Add more powerful functionality, and the big thing is discoverability. If Pictures is a standalone app on iOS, then the discoverability and the usability is a lot quicker and a lot easier, and then you don't have to worry about permissions and this, that, and the other thing. It's just going to be easier to share things. And if they can come up with some sort of functionality where you can have the Pictures app on your phone and you can create a gallery for
freezing, for cat photos, possibly something else. I don't know. Maybe Gabriel's frozen. Maybe he'll be back. We'll find out. Maybe I'm frozen. Who knows? If you're watching the show right now and you see that we're both frozen, please let us know. Otherwise, here's my cat. So Jennifer was wondering, oh, yeah, Gabriel froze and he's rebooting. So he'll be back as soon as he's done rebooting. It was suggested in the Q&A that Jennifer says that my cat should be on the show. So there you go, Jennifer. Here's Dixie. Yeah, there she is. I can't really show you what she does with the pants thing because it's not like she does it on command. Although she will probably swat my face and bite my nose if I keep it here for too long. Oh, there you go, a little bite. Okay, so until Gabriel comes back, why don't we get into what else has been going on? There's been all kinds of stuff going on right now. We have some new sessions that were just announced from Daytripper, things like the low light action session. I can't wait for this thing. I've just got it confirmed with the Battle Arts Academy. Battle Arts is in Mississauga, and they have this amazing facility there. Michelle, no, it's not your computer. It's Gabriel. This Mr. IT guy is like he supposedly knows how to use computers, and yet he's the one freezing right now. So hopefully he'll be back in just a second. Of course, when he watches this back, he'll kill me, but that's okay. I can deal with that. So this low light action session, Battle Arts Academy is owned by, I'm going to say his wrestling name first, so some of you may know him by his wrestling name. His wrestling name is Santino Marella. What do you mean you can't see the cat? She was right here. I put her down. She's now free and enjoying her day. So holy messages. Can only hear me, can't see me. Oh, interesting. Well, at least you can hear me. Well, that's a plus there. Everybody can hear me and not see me. So why don't I lower my bandwidth? Maybe that'll help a little bit and see if that gets it going. Good to know. Oh, everybody can see me and not hear me. That's okay, as long as you can hear me. That's better now. Yes, thank you, Henry. So the bandwidth thing, I just upgraded my internet from Rogers to the absolute highest speed that I could possibly afford, and apparently it doesn't work. So we'll see how it goes. Jennifer says, cat. Okay, hang on a second, Jennifer. I'll bring Dixie back. She's licking my toe right now, but I'll pull her up here in just a second. First ask a question, though. How come the photos that she's seeing on her screen looks like the lights from the houses in the background are reflected in the snow? Well, that's because they were reflected in the snow. There was a little bit there. Nothing else was added. Long exposure. There was a little bit of light, and you see some lights reflecting down. It's funny. I did a video of Dixie a few minutes ago, and you can see the light reflecting from the GoPro off of her fur. It was a very interesting look. Gabe is back. Good day. Apparently, my audio was working, but my video wasn't, so I had to lower my bandwidth as well. Thank you, Rogers, for the high-speed internet. And all of a sudden, Jen kept on chanting, cat, 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 cat. So, cat. This is the important stuff that we talk about. You see that? She bites, we call her Deep Throat Dixie, DTD, because the minute you put your hand near her face, she deep throats your finger. It's very weird. Okay.
I used that. Never mind.
Okay, on that note, okay, so everything's showing up now. What were you showing? The Dixie, I was still seeing Gabriel's icon. Oh, I can't control this cat, people. I don't know what's going on with this show tonight, but apparently everybody wants to see Dixie and nobody wants to see us. Gabriel, what's going on?
I think that's just a constant state. What would you rather look at?
I personally would rather not get the crap beat out of me all the time, which happens every time I pick up Dixie.
You make bad life choices.
You people are like making me get scratched up. Oh, there she goes. Okay, are we enough with Dixie now?
Maybe you should get a cat that likes you.
Oh, she loves me though. She's so cute. Yeah, she just waits for an opportunity to attack. That's all.
Mm.
There you go. She smells like cheese. I don't know what's going on. All right.
You know I had a... Oh, never mind.
She doesn't actually smell like cheese. But okay, so is everybody satisfied with the cat stuff? Let's see here. Okay, yes. Can't see the cat. No. Chance, cat. Okay, the first 20 minutes of the show today is about our cat. Cat pants device must be demonstrated. I don't think so.
Cat pants device must be demonstrated.
It's classic stuff that we have.
Just the fact that you can say that means that this show is going in the right direction.
Or something. Okay, so I'm caught up with all the Q&A. Gabe, welcome back.
Thank you. So I'd say long and short, nothing to see here. Everything's fine. The world's not ending. Google Plus is still going to be better than Facebook for years and years to come.
Good to hear. A lot of people in the community were a little bit concerned about that, so I didn't think there was too much to worry about. Google has made major changes in the past, and they always tend to work out better for what we're up to and photographers in general, so I'm not so concerned, but time will tell, right? Oh, wait, I'm sorry, time won't tell. What will time do?
Time will reveal time will bring along the chronological instance where the answers will be revealed, but time does not actually tell us anything.
Okay. So now that that's clarified, we're talking about some of the new sessions that we have coming up. First of all, the Battle Arts session, April 12th at Battle Arts Academy in Mississauga. Santino Marella, the owner of Battle Arts Academy, a former WWE superstar. His real name is Anthony Sorella. Super cool guy. He has allowed Daytripper Photo to come into his facility and have multiple wrestlers wrestling for just us. We're going to have, hopefully, some lenses from Sigma. We're going to have about 4 hours of hands-on shooting time of the wrestlers as they're working out, and then, of course, just little mini matches for us. We're going to have a tag team match, an individuals match. We're going to teach how to predict where they're going to be. We're going to teach how to use flash in low-light situations or not use flash in low-light situations. There's so many cool things that can be applied in this low-light action session that I can't wait. We've done one before up in Barrie when it was PWE Wrestling up there, and it was great. But, you know, you don't want to do these things during a live event, right, Gabe? I mean, people are there to enjoy the event, and all that there is all these paparazzi crowding around the ring. It's not cool.
Right.
Not cool, man. So, anyway, this is a special event, and it's only open to whomever registers for the session. So it's on daytripperphoto.com now. I just posted that today. Another one that I just posted today is Horror House. Now, this one, if you're not at this event, Gabriel, I will be extremely upset with you.
When is it?
This is going to be October 29th.
Oh, okay.
Lots of time. And
Yeah.
it's going to be another one in our indoor light painting series. Essentially what this is Thornhill Woods Haunted House in Thornhill. Every year they put on this massive haunted house, and they're opening it up just for us on this day. And we're going to go in, and we're going to be able to do light painting, and they've got crazy setups all over the place. They've even got actors that are going to be very kind to us, of course. Very, very kind. You don't want these guys being mean because they have axes and chainsaws and stuff, so should be fun. Yeah, awesome trip. Unique things that we're planning, right? Things that you're not going to get just anywhere. And of course, speaking of which, this Sunday, Gabriel, why don't you tell us a little bit about the event that we have planned for Sunday?
The portrait photography?
Yeah.
Workshop? Yeah, so it's a 1 light, 2 light, 3 light. So it's instead of doing photography 101, it's the KISS session. So keep it simple, silly. And so we're just going to go through. We're actually going to end up going through more than we originally intended because we wanted to bring more toys than normal. So we're going to have 3 stations set up with 3 models, and in the first station is going to be the 1 light. Second station is going to be 2 light, although there's a bit of a twist on that. And third station is going to be 3 light, and we're aiming them towards specific. Like one station is for corporate headshots. You know, you know, corporate headshots may not be how you express your creativity. It is good money, right? So we're going to have a station there on how to do that, and we're going to have a station on how to do 2 lights for cheaper than you thought. And then the 1 light, we're going to have, if I remember correctly, a softbox with a speed light, but then we're also going to have a beauty dish and a ring light that you can play around with as well. So, yeah.
Interesting. A lot of diverse stuff.
Yeah, we're going to go through like equipment and the advantage of speed lights over studio lights, and how to use reflectors and radio pocket wizards and all sorts of fun stuff. So, yeah.
Cool. And that's this Sunday. That session's already on sale on daytripperphoto.com. There's a few spots still open for that. We have been getting people registering pretty much every day. We've had at least 1 person book, so now we're up to about 7. It's a great number. It's awesome. So sessions, they take place at the community center in Newmarket. Lots of space to move around, and you know, when Navi and Gabriel are in charge of planning content for something like this, I mean, just look at the wedding session. It was amazing. So it can only be good.
It's been a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah, not nearly as much sushi has had to die for the planning of this one as the wedding one, but there have been sacrifices made.
It's all about the sacrifice. Speaking of which, Jennifer says, okay, this has nothing to do with sacrifice, but I thought I was going to have a good segue there. I saw the low light action session that a Daytripper regular discount, a DTP regular discount, is applied. How does one become a DTP regular? That's a good question, Jennifer. First of all, it's very easy to become a DTP regular. All you have to do is come on at least 6 sessions. And once you're into 6 sessions, you are a DTP regular. We are blessed with a very, very strong base of people who love what we're doing and who have come on many sessions, and I certainly don't take that for granted. So we always try and keep these sessions fresh and new so people can keep coming back. And as a thank you to that, whoever qualifies as a DTP regular has a code that they can put in when they register for our sessions, which saves them 20%, which is pretty huge. Yeah, so we love our regulars, and we want you guys to keep on coming out and shooting, but we realize sometimes you don't want to pay a full price when you know all the basics already and you've done all the preliminary instruction. You just want to shoot for the experience of it. So we figure 20% is a good discount for not sitting in on all the classes and all the education part of what we're talking about. What do you think, Gabe?
I agree.
Yes, it's good.
I was excited about it.
You're excited about it?
Yeah.
You're excited about what?
About the program.
Oh.
Is
Yeah.
it a new program, or I mean, I haven't.
Well, I
haven't
mean,
really
you
heard
get in
about
for
it before.
free, so you don't really need to
Yeah.
worry about it.
No, but I mean, I love the people that come on day trips, and if you come on 6 or more day trips, then that shows that you're, and then we want you out for more.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
It's fun. It is a good plan, and I'm bottom line is this is something that we started last year, the end of last year, and we've carried it over to 2015. So, guys, be on 6 trips or more.
It's nice when you can do trip after trip because we can build upon what you learned on the trip before, right? And to say, okay, well, last time you got better at this, and you've been practicing it, of course, between that session and this session. So now let's go one step further and work a little bit more on hello, and go from there.
That was awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna mute my phone.
That was pretty funny though, but it's absolutely true. You made a great point, and that's the nice thing about these sessions is it carries one person from one session over to the next a lot of times. Michelle, she says that I've got to say the horror event very carefully, or she needs a Q-tip. I think she meant Q-tip. She wrote an A-tip, and I don't know where she's hearing from, but I'm thinking it's a Q-tip, not a A-tip. It's weird.
It's French. It's the French ones. It's like a le tip.
Le tip. Okay, cool. Yeah. So yes, the horror section. We haven't gotten into that other kind of photography yet.
I'm going to Montreal soon, so you have any questions, just let me know.
TMI. Okay, so let's get back to the show here. We've talked about the shows that we have coming up. We've talked about the current show that you already have worked on, which I'm super stoked about. I can't wait for Sunday. It's going to be a good time. And next week we're going to do this fun show, and hopefully Navi will be here to talk about that in a few minutes. It's called the PHOGO, but I think she has a different name for it, and I'll let her explain that. Next, we're not going to be giving an official photo challenge this week, by the way. This week we're going to give you guys a break. If you want to make photos, great. Take photos that spell out Daytripper photo. That's our photos. But it's not an official challenge, and there won't be a photo review next week. Next week we're doing something a lot more fun. And can't wait to have Navi explain that to you. So hopefully she'll be on soon and tell us. Until then, why don't we start talking about the photo review, Gabe? Because we had a lot of pictures, and it's already about 10 o'clock, so let's get her done. Do you want to do a screen share?
I sure do.
Excellent.
Let me just find it here.
There
we go.
Is Flirting with Death. I just want to remind people, when you have these kinds of toys, the last thing oh, there you go. See what I mean?
Oh, jeez.
Just hold something, and she will come out of nowhere. Have you ever seen the commercial that they shake the food container and the cat comes pouncing through the wall? That's what our cat does. She is that strong. Okay. I know I talked about Dixie way too much. So, and look at that. Perfect timing. Just talking about cats and Navi.
There she is.
Conversation.
Cats? I didn't sign up for cats. I signed up for photos.
Okay, so we were just about to start the photo review, but before we do that, Navi, I had just kind of baited people with what I call the PHOGO idea. And what do you call it?
Photo.
Okay, tell us what this is all about while Gabe has his screen share. Nobody has to look at it.
Are we going to reveal what we're doing next week?
Yes, we are, because this is important. This is big news.
Yeah, and I'm super excited because it came in my dream.
Okay.
It really does come true, people.
First of all, hi, Navi.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. Okay.
All right.
Now go ahead and break it to us gently. Tell us your big idea.
Next weekend, we are going to play a live game of Bodo, which is Photo Bingo. Sound effect, somebody, come on.
Oh, man, I have it open, too. But it's
PHOGO?
So far away.
Here we go. Oh,
That's a
wrong
fail.
one, come on.
All right, go ahead.
Live in the show, so we'll get all that figured out. So where you can get your bingo card or your Bodo card, as I call it, get it, bingo photo.
Yes.
Okay,
so everybody will have these cards.
Yes. So you'll be able to probably download it. Is how we're gonna do it. So we're gonna have the random card, and we're gonna play photo bingo.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So we call off a thing, and people who are watching and joining in the Q&A will say, I got it. And then whenever somebody has a line, they yell bingo.
Yeah, or Bodo.
Or Bodo. or PHOGO.
Or PHOGO, whatever. PHOGO. Yeah, okay.
Photo bingo.
Gotcha. PHOGO works too.
But I like yours better.
PHOGO, for any of those that have seen the Strictly Ballroom.
Random.
The only thing we're gonna have to figure out is
Sorry.
we're gonna have to verify
Wow.
somehow. So.
Yeah, we have to verify the winner. Well, that's easy enough. People can take a picture of their board and post it to the community, and we would see it.
Perfect.
The first
Cool.
person to post a completed photo of their board wins.
Yeah, so it'd be nice
We
to
don't have a
interact.
community full of people that know how to manipulate images in Photoshop.
Oh.
Here's my card. No, look, really, I'm a winner.
It's Gabriel to be the one to deceive people.
We'll figure it out. Either way, it's happening. I don't care. I'm playing it.
Yes.
Okay.
My dream was the best dream ever.
Okay, explain. How did that happen in a dream?
I had a dream about it, and I was sort of half awake, half asleep, and I woke up thinking this is the best idea, and I'm going to make it happen, so here we are.
You came into work, you're like, Brian, I had this dream. You got to do this on the show. I'm like, yes, that's such a great idea.
Playing bingo and smashing heads, you know.
All right, so a little bit more on that in a few minutes, but before we get into that first, Gabriel, why don't you go right ahead and do that screen share again, and we'll get into our photo review. Now that Navi's with us, we can dig deep in.
And people have to definitely come back next week to play bingo.
Yes, and I was saying that there's no photo challenge this week. We're not issuing a specific challenge, but of course I told people if they want to submit photos of like light painting that says Daytripper photo or DTP or something like that, that's always cool too.
Cool.
All right, this is awesome. So the photo challenge this week was, the first week I should say, was puce, and the emotion was giddy. So those are the two photo challenge themes that we had for this week's photos. This photo we're looking at is Jennifer's photo, Jennifer Newberry. Puce nail polish. Great sharpness, excellent detail. I love the exposure. Now, I got to admit, guys, I've been accused of being too nice with my photo critiques, of not being able to be mean when giving a critique.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what, guys? That's not how I roll. I'm not a mean guy. I will give you positive affirmations. I will tell you things I like about your pictures. If you want people to be mean to you about your pictures, then this isn't the place for that. So
you don't have to be mean to be helpful.
No.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't think you have to be mean at all in life. There's no point in it.
I don't think you should sugarcoat it either, but, you know.
Well, that's why you're here, Navi. Right?
I guess.
So, Navi's whipping.
I saw a bumper sticker the other day that said mean people suck.
Yes, mean people suck.
So.
And Jennifer agrees with you. She says, good point, Gabriel. Okay, so let's talk about Jennifer's picture. The way I like to critique, and I'm going to clarify this right away, since this whole show is on photo review, I want people to understand where I'm coming from when it comes to a photo review. Now, all three of us are a little bit different with how we do this, but this is me. What I like to do is I like to say how it makes me feel first. Gives you my general impression of what your photo makes me feel like. Makes me feel happy, makes me feel sad. I love it because it makes me feel excited, you know, that kind of thing. Then I want to go into a couple things that I do like about the picture. In this case, we're talking about the exposure. I love the sharpness and the detail. I love how there's the clean line of the nail polish dripping off and it's lit properly. And then I like to give a place to improve, potentially. So in a picture like this one here, the only thing that I can think that needs to be improved is it's a pretty static, dead center photo. Not that that's a bad thing. And I don't even know if shooting a little bit off to the side would improve that. It's not a matter of that, but there's not much to improve here in my mind, so I would think that maybe a different composition, something that might lead you into it a little bit differently rather than just saying, boom, here it is.
Yeah, that's actually not to sorry to interrupt, but that's exactly the point that I was going to make, where I think the bottle is in the perfect position, but if I Google pictures of nail polish advertisements, the brush should be not should be, but is typically on a bit of an angle,
Mm-hmm.
and that adds a little bit of a dynamic to the image, a little bit of a flow to the image.
Yeah, there you go. Just a small little tip, a composition tip, and that might help somebody rethink their picture for next time. And then, of course, the final point I'd like to make would be, again, just kind of a brush over. Like, I really do like the photo, even though potentially we can improve the composition a little bit. The clarity and the sheen to the nail polish really does show through. The color shows through very well, and the use of isolation in your lighting really helped improve the shot. So
yeah, I really like the lighting in this.
That nice black background.
Yeah.
Great choices were made. So I apologize, Jennifer, if I wasn't mean enough in my critique of your photo. But sorry, it frustrates me. I mean, you try and be positive with people, and then you hear about some negatives coming from the back end. So that's my way of fighting the negative.
I think it's creative criticism. You know, not just being like, oh, your photo sucks, it could be better. This is what's wrong with it. You know, you want to be somewhat critical, but that they can improve, as opposed to saying, it's all right, next.
Exactly, and the bottom line is it's very subjective. I mean, when it comes to photography and art in general, I may look at something and think it's a piece of crap, but it may sell for $1 million next week. So it's really hard to say. All we can really do is, like Gabriel's doing right here. Gabe, go ahead, point this out.
So with this one here, it's a very similar image. I actually couldn't see any. I couldn't find any nail polish pictures done on a black background, and I actually really like the black background. When doing my Google image search, everything that I found was on the white background. But I like the black. But if you notice, if you put the brush on a little bit of an angle there, it just it makes it. Dynamic. It just gives it that dynamic that I was speaking about. So
I agree.
Oh, let's not.
And that was a good example. Oh, your email. That was actually a very good example. So thank you for pulling that up. Now, again, we're not saying to Jennifer or to anybody, do it like this.
No.
Because who are we to say that? I mean, Jen's a great photographer. She's made some great photos, and she shared them all with us, and we appreciate that. But the last thing I want to do is say something just silly.
Yeah, I like the drops around it.
Stories of my cat, which are silly.
The only thing that I would have done, and I ran into this a lot with my whiskey photo shoot, is I took the shot and everything looked great until I got it on the computer, and you never realize how dusty things are until you open them up on a 27-inch monitor. And I probably would have opened this up in Photoshop and spent a few minutes. There's some dust up here and some dust down here and along the rim here and stuff. And even if you wipe down your props right before you shoot, you're still going to end up with that in your final shot. That's the only sort of other advice that I would have for that.
A good tip for that too, by the way, for those of you who have watched our show and submitted photos and potentially even won our photo challenges, and if you haven't, you should have one of these anyway. This is a lens pen. And the lens pens are great because they got the little brush, and you can brush off all the dust from all your props that you're using for macro photography. So it's a good idea to keep one of them on hand as well when you're doing stuff like this, product photography or little bits and pieces that could potentially have any kind of residue, lint, dust, anything like that on it. All right. Thank you very much. Great shot, Jennifer. Thank you for sharing. And she says, yay, she doesn't like mean critiques. She does like positive things. We're awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. You're awesome, too.
And thank you, Brian, for your honesty.
Well, you can only get slagged so many times before you have to say something. You know what I'm saying? All right, so here we are with Tammy's photo. This is really great.
I love this photo.
Exactly, Gabriel, exactly. I love this photo, too. So, high key, holy high key Batman.
I like it.
Where was that picture? I don't even see it.
Makes me thirsty.
Oh, there it is. Awesome. So this is Tammy's photo for Giddy. Awesome. I'm actually looking at it in the Hangout on my second screen, and this second screen is horrible. So I looked at it on my monitor now here, and it's beautiful. The detail's great. The sharpness is fantastic. Your depth of field is just right. Lighting is amazing, nice white background. Now, my one thought is the background, again, it could be my computer, but it looks like the background is a little off-white and maybe could use an extra half a stop of exposure in the background to really make it white. Do you guys see that, or is that my monitor?
I see that. It's just
Yeah, I see that.
A tad off-white.
Yeah, just a tad. So that can be achieved by, either if you're shooting in an auto mode like aperture priority, shutter priority, or anything like that, just by going exposure compensation, bump it up a little bit. It could also be achieved by adding another flash to the background. That would be tough with this, though, just by flippantly saying add a flash, because there's a lot of glass, there's a lot of reflective properties that could make that very difficult to work with. Have you got a thought for that there, Gabriel?
Navi has these awesome light modifiers for her studio lights called skim lights.
No, strip lights.
Strip lights. And so they're like a softbox, but instead of going out, and I'm doing the hand signals like you can see me, except I'm doing a screen share so you can't.
Right.
So imagine me holding my hands out far away from each other, but then instead of going out like that, it points in, and it's specifically for lighting up backdrops and not having a lot of spill light.
Navi.
Yes. So Navi, the drunk mime, is showing how the lights would actually go.
Excellent. So by using these strip lights, would you put them beside it?
Too.
That's very good, Navi. Would you put them beside, or would you?
Oh no, you're trapped in a box.
This is so weird. I'm in a box. What's going on here?
Ryan, you look like a cat when you do that.
A cat? No, it's all about the cat. She left me. She's tired of me playing with her anymore. All right, so back to our photo critique. The strip lights may help, I guess. Navi, do you think that would work?
To make the background white?
Yeah. So,
Tammy, if you're watching, correct me if I'm wrong. Did you have two lights coming from the side to light it? That's what it looks like to me anyways.
Yeah.
You could use strip lights for the background, or you can actually just use one light for the background, shooting at the background to light it up, because it looks like it's a pretty small space.
Mm-hmm.
I usually just use one light if it's like a smaller area. If it's like I'm shooting a person and it's a big backdrop, I'll have two of the strip boxes to light up more background space. It's tricky though, because you're trying to shoot glass, right? So it's very reflective, and you don't want to blow it out either and still get the details from the edges.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, I think it's a really nice picture. I love the little line in the cup in the front there.
Well, you have an affinity to limes in the first place, I think.
I like limes.
One of your favorite photos is your niece with the lime. Beautiful shot.
Oh, I was thinking Deep Space Lime.
Oh, right, and Deep Space Lime. There you go. It shows up all over the place. I love the colors, too, Tammy. The choices of using the red cherries and the blue liquid and the yellow and the green. Excellent choice of colors. It certainly gets you all looking all over the place. And it is a very happy, giddy-like photo. So, excellent job. Anything else to add there, Gabriel, before we move along?
No, I like it. It's great.
All right, very cool. Thank you, Tammy, for submitting. Oh, Tammy is watching. Yes, two lights from the side. It's a small photo box she bought a few years ago from Henry's.
There you go.
There you go.
Used it very well. So with those lights, Navi, any idea how she could, with what she already has, how she could make the background that extra bit whiter?
So you're gonna light box. I would like to see if you. I don't remember how those boxes are. If I guess it depends what kind of box you have. Some of them are just the sort of foldable ones.
Mm-hmm.
I've never tried it myself, so I would wonder how it would look if you had a flash behind the box, shooting at the background. Obviously, you have to turn it down so it doesn't blow out the lights or the products. But
now, would putting that light above help? Like if she can just mount the flash above, shining into the background?
Oh, like above and back?
Yeah, just toward the background and maybe flagged so it doesn't hit the product.
That could probably work.
Yeah. I guess the idea is just to make the background an extra couple of stops brighter than the subject, which makes it white and almost makes the subject itself look like it's floating there.
Yeah.
Or just keep the lights how they are, open it up in Lightroom, grab your white slider, and then go into your tone curve and drag up your highlights and your lights a bit.
You want to make sure you don't lose that corner there of the glasses, because they are brighter than the background.
That would be a real fine line there for sure. Oh, they're very cool. Excellent. Nonetheless, we love the photo. Great stuff, Tammy. Thank you so much. Jennifer, you are absolutely allowed to comment on other people's photos. That's the whole point of the Q&A. If you have something to say about anybody's picture, go right ahead and post it. We'll add that into the conversation. It's yet another good view, so that's fine. And no more Dixie. No more Dixie. She's gone. She's happy with her mother. Everything is okay. And besides, I've already been clawed in the face during the show once, so move along now. All right, so this is whose photo is this one?
This is Michelle Scott.
Michelle's. Awesome. Another very clear, very sharp image.
Mm-hmm.
High-speed photography is something that a lot of people are really having fun with these days, and it's not easy. I think everybody who's been trying it can justify it or can testify that it's not an easy thing to do. I would like to get more into it. I haven't done a lot of it, so I can't really sit here and give you my experience on it. What I can say is here we have a very white background. The ground underneath the glass is not overexposed. It's nice and bright. The glass itself is very sharp. The nice color in the liquid adds a nice dynamic to it, and of course, dropping in the ice cube, showing a little bit of motion there is a really nice touch as well. As far as something to improve on, again, we could talk about composition. It's pretty static, looking straight onto a glass. Maybe come up from a little bit of an angle and look down at it. It'll give you a little bit more height where the droplets are coming up and out. But I understand that for this kind of thing, it's really hard to predict where the water's going to drop. Every time you drop the ice into it, you get a different splash. Mm-hmm. That's a really difficult thing to critique in that way. What do you think, Gabriel?
I would say that if you're going to go dead center, go 100% dead center. This is a little bit off to the right to me, and it sort of it bugs my eye when I notice that. But besides that, it's a great capture. Good. It's hard enough to catch. I mean, this is something I didn't realize until recently. It's hard enough to catch a splash when it happens. Then you realize that there's good-looking splashes and ugly splashes. And I never really realized that before. This is a good-looking splash, and it's well captured.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, I agree. Anything to add, Navi?
Yeah, it's when you're, I think with the splash photos, you kind of just, like Gabriel said, you're doing it so much to looking for that good-looking splash. And I mean, in commercial photography too, they're using fake ice cubes and stuff like that to make it look perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of just keep playing around with it. Lighting-wise, I like it. I've never really tried my hand at doing sort of this kind of lighting. I've watched Alex's videos and stuff like that, and I've always been meaning to do it because I like trying the, what's it called, the fast
high-speed photography.
High-speed, yeah, it looks pretty fun and messy. So I don't want to. So I've avoided it.
A great tip for that. Oh, go ahead.
No, after you.
Sorry, just swallowing a peanut. I was just going to say a great tip for that type of photography. If you've ever heard of a trigger trap, and actually, why don't you make your point, and I'll go grab my trigger trap.
Okay. Well, I was just going to. I really didn't have a point. I was just going to go into how we could probably arrange for a high-speed photography session. Maybe get somebody who does a lot of it to come in and give their expertise and roll that into some sort of either on the show. I think that would be a lot of fun. If anybody knows anybody who is excellent at high-speed photography, I've already approached Alex, who Navi mentioned a few minutes ago. I haven't got a reply yet. Keep on trying because he is amazing. And yeah, that would be really a fun thing to talk about for the show. Jennifer says, for Tammy's photos with the drinks, she would have replaced one of the yellowy drinks with a red one for more color. Also, on my screen, the photo doesn't look completely straight. Also, I have lighting, but next comment, running out of characters. I have lighting, but I think it could have looked cool if shot directly in front of a softbox, which would have blown out the background and given it a different look. Actually, that's a really good point. You could take the softbox and shoot into it. So if the softbox is here, and then the cameras are here, basically your product is right here. You're shooting directly into the softbox, and that light would blow out the background quite a bit. That'd be an interesting thing to try.
You mean for this photo or for
the previous one, Tammy's photo?
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, excellent tips. And just for the color, there's a real science to color. And I have to admit, I'm red-green deficient, and I'm not the best with the color palette, choosing opposite colors and so on. But there is a true science to color, and if you have certain things in a shot, that balance of tones is very important to good composition as well. So that's something that Jennifer was relating to there. All right, Gabriel, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so the trigger trap is it's a little device, looks like this, and one part plugs into the remote sensor, remote port in your camera, and the other part plugs into your smartphone or iPad. Just put in the volume port there, and you turn your volume up on high. And it's got remote timer, and you can do all the normal stuff. It's got an intervalometer, so you can actually have an intervalometer on a Canon camera. The app is free. The device itself is about $25. But what it also has...
They're $69.99.
What he said.
Yes, Henry sells them.
And what it has two modes. One of them here is sound sensing. So you plug it in your camera. You just basically put your phone or tablet down on the table. It doesn't have to be too close to it, and it will sense the sound of the ice cube hitting the water. And then the other mode, which I think is iOS only. So when I shoot that way, I've got an old iPhone kicking around. I just plug it into there, and then that one senses vibration as well, so it can sense the vibration of something hitting something else, and then it'll automatically fire your camera. And I've had pretty good success with that. It's not how I did my whiskey pictures, but I've done other pictures using that, and it was pretty good. So,
yeah, a lot of people use the trigger trap for that high-speed photography. And yes, Jennifer, the Alex we are talking about is Alex Koloskov. He is wicked at high-speed photography, and I've tried to see if he would be a guest on our show, and he's a busy guy, so I don't think he has probably even seen the email that I sent him at this point. Hopefully he will. All right, so back to the photo we were talking about, Michelle's photo. Great stuff, nice and clear, and we talked about exposure, talked a little bit about composition. I think we're good. Nevi, anything else to add?
Nope.
Nope. All right, cool. So let's look at that one. Yes. It's a fun shot. This is Hallie's Giddy Balls. Her photo for Giddy.
I like this photo a lot. I like that there's motion in the background. I think that really makes the picture, as opposed to just the bottom part where it's like a big happy face.
I agree. I'm a big fan of motion and sharpness in the same shot, and to have that nice clear happy face and all the little balls in the background with the motion dropping from above, brilliant. Compositionally, I've got nothing negative to say here. My only thought is potentially the very lower happy face on the very bottom. The bottom half of it's a bit too much in the shadow, I think. If we're going to be very picky about it, because it does take away from the fact that it's smiling. I mean, it's kind of covering over the ball's mouth a little bit. Other than that, the yellow against black is very vivid and easy to see. There's nice contrast, which draws your eye to each ball, and the sharpness on the one that's supposed to be sharp is perfect. What do you think, Gabe?
Yeah, no, it's I like happy stuff, and I like things that make you smile when you look at it, and that one's happy.
Does it read giddy?
I don't know if it reads giddy, but I could see if somebody were to suggest it, I could see giddy in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's a fine line between happy and giddy. Like, my thing is I whistle a lot, and whenever we're in the grocery store, Trish can always find me because I'm always walking around whistling. And she always says there's she can't tell if I'm happy or if I'm giddy about something that I saw or something that I found or something like that. I was telling her today, I realized a couple days ago because I was walking through the Zayres in Keswick, and I was just in a good mood. I'm whistling Zippity Doo Dah, and I'm walking around, and I realized 1/3 of these people think that I'm just really happy. 1/3 of these people think that maybe I just got some, and 1/3 of these people think I have a basement full of bodies.
And those of us that know you No, all three are true.
So there's a fine line between like happy, giddy, and just maniacal. So
You're just happy you were in Keswick, you know. Living it.
Keswick has been quite the adventure, yes.
It's a great shot, and thank you, Holly, for sharing that one with us. Beautiful job. All right, whose is this fun photo?
This is Jennifer.
Submission for giddy. Nothing makes a kid giddy like jumping on a trampoline and large amounts of sugar. Check out the ISO on this one, guys. She says, my daughter, and Hallie Moore's daughter as well, went to this birthday party last weekend, and it turned out to be the ultimate low-light photography challenge. Kids jumping on trampolines in complete darkness, except for the lamps in the corners of the large room with laser lights. Now, first of all, yes, that is a very challenging situation, absolutely. Second of all, laser lights are bad for cameras. If you are in a situation where there's laser lights flying around, do not aim your camera at the laser. Just saying. Not good for sensors.
It will literally fry the sensor.
It will. And thirdly, good job working hard to make the shot. So the D700 is very well known for creating very decent high ISO photos. This was shot at 6400 ISO. And if I look at it on my computer and I zoom in all the way, you know what it looks like? 6400 ISO, which is not bad. But, you know, you can definitely get that softness. I have a lot of people who come into the store complaining about their camera being a soft image. When we look at the photos, we realize they were shooting at very high ISOs. You try and explain, that makes a soft image. And finally, they understand. It's true. So let's see. You were using the 50mm f1.8 at f1.8, which is exactly what I would have done. Gives you nice fast shutter speeds and a nice open aperture. Unfortunately, though, as you were saying, it's going to be very tough to shoot this stuff. I mean, you're wide open. You're at 400th of a second shutter speed, which is great for stopping action. I personally think I would have lowered the ISO to 3200 and gone for 200th of a second shutter speed. Just because for kids jumping, you don't really need a lot more than that, and sometimes having a little bit of motion in the shot is good, and I'd rather have a little bit of less grain than just a bit of blur. You know what I mean? What do you think, Gabriel? Oh, sorry, Navi, go ahead.
Yeah, imagine all the squealing that was happening there.
Yeah, as a lover of kids like I am, I think I would have been in heaven.
As a lover of cats as I am, I think yours would be in heaven.
Yeah. Now, this is my only negative. And again, this is a fun photo. Jen took a picture of her daughter. It's fun. I get it. It's awesome. My only concern is what's going on in backgrounds. It kind of looks like her daughter's pooping out a little kid. Just saying.
Oh, jeez.
And that's just literally a step to the left or a step to the right.
Notice that until you pointed that out.
This is one of those things that you notice if you really look in backgrounds. So again, one step to the left, one step to the right. This is a trick that Gabriel suggested. Take 3 shots for every shot you take, and then you end up without these problems. What do you think, Gabe?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. I mean, you know, as a person that's shot enough bar mitzvahs and enough birthday parties and stuff like that, that, you know, it's like there's an old saying, now it's different in a photo critique because we're specifically looking for things, but there's an old saying, if your picture is boring enough that people notice the grain, then it's too boring, right? Now, you know, we notice it because we're zooming in 100%, but the average person is going to look at this picture and not notice the grain at all because it's an interesting enough picture. And the average person is going to look at this picture and not notice the, you know, the child being pooped out because it's an interesting enough picture, and because, you know, the beautiful red hair, the face is well lit, and because the darker pants, your eyes are automatically drawn to her face, and they don't really wander around a lot. So yeah,
good points. Very good points. All right, very cool. Nice shot. Thank you, Jennifer. And Navi, anything else to add, or should we move along?
No, I think we're good.
All right, move along. All right. So whose is this photo?
Andrew Tomlinson.
Oh, Andrew. Nice. Had an opportunity on the weekend to snap a few quick shots of a giddy baby girl while visiting a friend. It was past her bedtime, but she was happy, laughing, and happy. Sorry, she was in a happy, laughing, and smiling place. What do you think, Navi?
Cute. I'm trying to look at the. I can't see it. It looks grainy to me.
Right.
A little bit, or it out of focus. So it looks like the focus is on the back eye, right?
Well, here's the thing. First of all, when you have pictures of babies, there's a few things that you have to remember. Your personal attachment to the moment is going to be very key to how much you like the photo. When somebody hasn't been there and doesn't know the baby and doesn't know the story about it being up past its bedtime and so on, it looks like a picture of a baby that's not quite sharp and potentially a bit grainy. So the story being added helps us appreciate the image, but the image itself, unfortunately, I mean, you're talking 1/90th of a second exposure, not quite fast enough to stop a baby moving like she is. And even to get that, it was shot at f1.8, which makes the depth of field extremely shallow. And even beyond that, it was on 1600 ISO from a camera that uses a CCD sensor. Blah, 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 blah. Long story short, it's just not kicking. It's not giving me that extra 10% that you would look at and think, wow, look at the picture. It's a beautiful, gorgeous picture of a baby. Does that make sense, guys?
Totally. That was perfectly explained. Yeah. I think what it is for me is that I automatically look at the right eye, our right, and it distracts me because I'm looking at it, but the focus is on the back eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing there.
And if the eye, so if you don't know what we're talking about, the trick to portrait photography is the eyes, and if they're looking off to an angle, you always want to have your focus on the eye that's closest to you. And if if the focus was on the eye closest to us, and then also the teeth and the nose would be in a little bit better focus as well.
Good points. Awesome stuff. All right, Jennifer says that her daughter saw that other photo of the jumping, and she said she looked like she was sitting on her friend's head. So, photographer's daughter, she knows these things.
Although, if you ask our friend the magician, Peter McKinnon, he'll tell you that you can't do magic tricks in front of kids because they see things that adults don't.
It's true. It's true. That's why I always can see his tricks.
Yeah, the innocence of a child.
That's right. I am so innocent. All right, let's move along. This is Julie's shot. She was playing around with these flaming sambuca shots. Yeah, a few of these will make anyone feel giddy.
Oh,
beautiful.
Pass out.
For my night of Zambuca.
Oh, no. Okay, so first of all, extremely shallow depth of field here, guys. Look how shallow that is. I mean, the background is so textured and it's just barely even there. It's more just kind of highlights and twinkles going on back there. The detail in the glass is really nice. You can tell she used a lot of clarity, which, it probably helps chunk up the picture a little bit and give that real draw focus to that first glass. 100 ISO, it's a 2.5 second exposure. The longer exposure is nice because the flame isn't just a flame, it's a glow. Right? So it almost gives that sense like it's sitting there burning off, which is kind of cool. Now, even though I'm wondering if Julie maybe added a bit of that softness in post, because this is shot at f7.1. Now, I realize it's a macro lens, and I also realize that proximity is in play here. That glass is very close to the lens, so you're going to get shallow depth of field both from the macro lens and the fact that the proximity is very close to that glass.
And it's a full-frame sensor.
And it's a full-frame sensor. There's 3 of the 4 things right there, exactly. Actually, all 4 of the now the aperture's not wide open, so it's only 3 of the 4. Nonetheless, you can see how the blur is kind of taking over the edge of the shot glass. Like the left edge on the top. It almost looks like the blur is overlapping it, so I'm thinking maybe there was a bit of blur added in post. What do you think, Navi?
You can really tell from the screen capture. Screen share here. I mean, macro is even at 5, 6, and stuff. It's still really shallow, depending on where your subject is. I just want to see this picture.
It's a really interesting shot.
I love the angle of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the sort of diagonal. I like that.
And it's also got the rule of thirds, rule of odds, I guess you can say, coming in, because you can pretty much see 3 glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a nice touch to add. Gives a little bit, like you say, Gabriel, it gives it a nice dynamic, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's added, because if you look at the sort of the line of like where the focus is, it's consistent.
That's true. On the front, the left to the right side of the glass is consistent. You're right.
It doesn't look like post to me. I could be wrong.
That's really neat.
Before.
What do you think, Gabriel?
I like it. And it makes me want Sambuca.
I just want to have a drink of some kind.
I like that.
Nothing like an alcohol you can light.
Yeah. I think you could light any alcohol, actually. It's alcohol. It's flammable.
I like that it's just that blue there.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if she desaturated the photo at all, or if that's like kind of the way it came out because of the flame. Just curious.
Maybe if she's watching, she can let us know. All right. Anything else to add, or should we move along?
Yeah, always blow the flame out before you drink it.
Nah.
Words of.
That's what a mustache is for.
Words of experience.
I think Julie has another photo. Yes, she does. There it is. Submission for Puce. This is a 12-layer focus-stacked macro image of just the center of the flower, leaving the petals out of focus. I love that. I love using a technique for a specific result. I actually played around with focus stacking the first time I did it, specifically to choose focus in certain areas of the photo. So here Julie's doing that with her flower. She focused on the center, not focusing on the flower itself, and that way when she stacked it, all that was in focus was the center of the flower. Brilliant technique. Oh, Julie is watching. She says she did not add any blur in post. She did add high-pass filter on the glass in front only. Okay. All right, so the high-pass filter, high-pass sharpening, is a way of adding sharpening to specific areas without making it look chunky or grungy. And Julie is actually really good at that technique. I've seen her use that on a lot of different photos, and excellent results. So that's probably what I was noticing, was how the front of the glass and the glass itself was a little bit sharper than the rest. But nonetheless, great job. Thank you, Julie. And this shot here, Navi, what do you think of this?
Oh, I want to pet him.
What are you looking at?
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the dog photo.
Live in the now, Navi. Live in the now.
Sorry, I'm on the wrong goof screen.
I didn't even know there was
a dog photo.
What are you looking at?
I don't know. Hold on. Maybe
are you in the right community?
I mean, I'm just Julie's collection of photos. If you click the arrow, go to the right.
Oh.
Click the arrow, Gabriel, so people don't think I'm crazy.
Ah, there you go.
All right, all right.
I want to pet the flower. I love it. It's super sharp. I want to just like pick off each one of them.
It's great when you see this kind of detail.
Really, really cool. How long did that take you to do, Julie? I'd like to know that.
That's a good question. Well, stacking, depending on how you frame your shots, could take just a matter of minutes. But it looks like the processing that she did here is so nice. It's subtle, you know. The vignette on the edge it could just literally be the flower itself. It may not even be a vignette, and yet it gives that effect. The texture in the petals is really nice and soft and non-distracting at all. There's not a lot of contrast on the edge, so it's not drawing your eye away from the center of the flower, which is great. Yeah, really cool. Julie says, just don't leave the glass burning for too long. It will crack the glass.
Yes, it gets very hot too.
Yeah, and then you definitely don't want to drink it. Yeah. All right. Anything else to add to this shot, Gabriel?
No, I like. You know, usually when you hear focus stacking, it means that 100% of the image is going to be in focus, and I like that she left the petals out of focus. It
really drives your eye into the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent shot. Oh, this is Robert's photo. Robert, he loves this. He was talking to me about this the other day. Very creative. I thought it was just like a template that you could just put the photos into, but I asked him about it. He goes, no, he made the whole thing.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's great.
He took the photo of Elmo and he composited this together, and this is leaps and bounds further than where Robert was a year ago, and I just love it. I love it. I just think it's funny and interesting. I mean, it's Elmo. Aside from it being, Elmo, it's really cool. No, I'm just kidding. Elmo's giddy. It's like the epitome of giddy. I love Elmo.
Those were my exact words that you just took it out of my mouth. I was gonna say that.
Sorry, I'll stop doing that.
God,
can't you get your own words?
I like it a lot more now that I know that he made it.
Mm.
When I first saw it, I thought it was just sort of dropped into a template or something like that, and I wasn't a huge fan of it, but
yeah, he's put a lot of work into this, so you got to give some credit there. Okay, on a side note, Julie just replied to your question, Gabriel. She says she finds 12 photos doesn't take too long to merge, to focus stack. Any more than that, Photoshop doesn't work well, and you have to fix areas manually. So, through the experience that Julie has, she's determined that if you keep it below 12 photos, it doesn't take too long to stack. Of course, we look at what Don Komarechka does with his snowflakes, stacking up to 70 photos. You can see why it takes him 4 hours to edit the photo. All right, so anything else?
He's gone in and modified his version of Photoshop. He's written his own code for it. So,
he might have. We'll have to have him back on the show to ask him. Right, Navi?
Yep.
Excellent. All right, so what else do you have to say here about Robert's shot, guys?
Oh, sorry.
Navi? Bueller? Anyone?
I was just gonna say I like that it's creative. He didn't just take a picture of something. He made a whole different thing. So good for him.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay.
It's hard to critique it as a photo, as it's more of a graphic.
That's true.
Than a photo. Kind of the whole idea of composition and stuff like that doesn't apply much, as the only photo part is Elmo inside the film.
Mm-hmm. And you can't really critique it because it's been bent and it's been shifted, and it's tough to tell if the background has a little too much yellow, if it's too close, and there's some shadow. Like there's a little bit of that, and if we're going to get really picky, you can kind of call those things out a little bit. But I think ultimately the point that Robert took the time to try something different and go outside the box and craft this piece here, I think that's really fantastic.
I would say it's a success.
Success. All right, let's move along.
No, I wouldn't say it like that.
Oh. All right. Stop putting me down, yo. Stop putting me down. You're the man. Man always brings me down.
Just being honest.
All right, Rachel has submitted a shot here. This is interesting. She said
the only problem with this one is it wasn't within the time frame.
Oh, is that right?
This is.
I took this picture when I was in Cuba last year. Yeah. Oh wow. Reminded me. Okay, well that's fine. You're allowed to share. This is for depressed, and you can see that he's obviously tired. At least I don't know. I mean, I would be depressed because his shoes have holes in them. But aside from that, it's hard to tell.
I'm wondering, did he move or did she use the flash? Because there's some. See down there where my mouth is? Where my mouth is? See where my mouth is? All right, so I am putting the whiskey away from me. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question, actually. Let's see here. Camera-wise, tough to say. You zoom in really close. It looks like it might have even been a point-and-shoot she had used.
Texture. Yeah, with like a pop-up flash or something.
Yeah, maybe something like that. It's tough to say.
Right.
Tough to say. But you know what? It doesn't qualify, so out of respect to all of those in the past that have not qualified and we breezed past the photo, I think we have to do the same with Rachel's.
Thanks for sharing, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Jennifer says, Gabriel, you read her mind. She was thinking it was more of a graphic. That would be Robert's photo, more of a graphic than a photo, and it's like digital artwork, I guess. So yeah, and it's again it's something that Robert hasn't done a lot of, and just to see him venturing into things that are challenging is well worth the fact that he submitted that. So that's fantastic. And I love this. This is another shot from Jennifer. Jennifer, you're extremely active in our show tonight. This is awesome. Depressed is the challenge. This button has been depressed. It is depress the button. I think that's funny. It's a different twist to the challenge that we gave. The sharpness is good.
I like
Focus is where it should be. Compositionally, it's even interesting. You know, the button's in the center, but the hand's coming up from the top left. It's a great concept, as Hallie suggested in her comment as well. Yeah, very cool. Any thoughts, guys?
I like that it's zoomed in enough that you can't exactly tell what it's attached to. It could be like a halogen lighting system, or it could be like a BFG.
What?
Big friggin' gun?
Gun? Oh, none of you ever played Doom, did you?
Not like you did.
Okay. Yeah, they had this one weapon in there called the BFG, the big freaking gun. We'll go with that,
Okay.
which kind of coincides with Fifth Element. But
yes.
you know, like when you're zoomed in that close, it could be part of anything. It could be a chainsaw. It could be, you know,
a kid's toy.
It's neat. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool shot.
Imagination reels.
Any thoughts there, Navi?
It looks like a stock photo to me. Right? It could totally be a stock photo. Like,
it could be a stock photo, but here's the problem. There's a little bit too much grain.
Oh, I can't see.
And clarity added.
I can't see on the share.
No, again, this is just because you said it could be a stock photo, right? If we're not seeing it as a stock image, I think it's awesome. But as a stock photo, I don't think they would accept it just because of the clarity isn't up to par.
Oh, okay.
Stock sites are extremely picky when it comes to clarity and grain and focus and so on and so forth. So, at least in my experience.
No, I agree. They're usually very picky with that.
And logos.
And logos too. Are there logos here?
No, but in your experience.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it. I took a stock photo of Niagara Falls from the Skylon Tower. I was at the top of the Skylon Tower. Guys, it's freaking tall. It's up there, really high. I took a photo of the entire Niagara Falls. I made a panoramic. I merged 16 photos. I got this wicked, awesome, clear, sharp as a tack shot on the perfect weather. And it went up to iStock Photo. It started selling, started doing very well for me. And then all of a sudden it was pulled. And they pulled it because a bus on the road way down at the ground had a logo on it. They said I could resubmit. I resubmitted it, and it was declined. So, Evs, wah wah. Sorry, sidetrack. Squirrel. I haven't squirreled too much lately. I think I need to get those shirts made up. Squirrel shirts.
You got distracted trying to make the shirts. It's fine.
What's that?
You got distracted trying to make the shirts.
Yeah. Touche. All right, so here's another shot from Jennifer. This one, okay, now here's the thing. Jennifer knows me well enough to know that if it says Daytripper photo in there somewhere, I'm probably going to vote for it. Right? So now, first of all, it's DTP, Daytripper photo, just to make it complete. But secondly,
you only get 2/3 of a vote.
You only get 2/3 of a vote. But secondly, though, it does need to be sharp, and unfortunately, I'm not seeing.
See, I think that it might be sharp, but what you're seeing is a double reflection from the mirror.
That's very hard to say, and the bottom line is your eye is telling you it's not sharp.
Yeah.
Except at the very top left corner on the line. It's like sharpness is back there. So this is a bit confusing for me, Jennifer. I want to really like it. Unfortunately, it looks like a bunch of salt. It's not quite in focus.
He's playing with his heart.
I know. It's a tease. It's a tease, Jen. That's all right.
All right.
And as Joseph Leduc says, snort.
Nice.
Very interesting and creative.
Snort.
Snort.
Oh, dear.
All right, what's this? This is Marie's photo. Now, I gotta say, since Marie's been posting in our community, I've loved her work. I think she does some incredible stuff, and I absolutely love the fact that she drove all the way down from Penetanguishene for our last Fire on Ice session. I mean, this is about an hour-and-a-half drive she came just so she can stand out on a frozen lake and take pictures of crazy people spinning steel wool. So, Mazel tov, great job. Glad you came down for that, and I'm so happy you're submitting photos for our challenges. And even though I forgot to bring the lens pens that you won to give to you, I will mail them to you. Just thought I'd say that. All right, on this photo, what do you think, Navi?
What is it?
Looks like ice.
Yeah, it looks like ice in front of snow.
I thought it was a seal.
Well, actually, Mark Flinders says she thought it looked like an ice dolphin.
Yeah, something like that, like, like a sculpture of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Wonder if this was maybe taken up at like a Winterfest or something with the ice.
Huh.
Very, very
I like
interesting.
with a nice sculpture, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was I thought it was some sea animal or something. Chicken of the sea, maybe?
Maybe.
Okay, Jessica.
Okay, so the sharpness is excellent. The ice is very sharp and clear.
Yes.
The exposure is great. It's very bright, very clean. Shot at very low ISO, so there's no grain. It looks very clear. And here's the thing, guys. When you're shooting pictures of snow, ice, stuff like that, where there's a lot of detail, the last thing you want is for there to be grain because it's going to take away from the detail. So the fact that she shot at 100 ISO, great choice.
Tons of detail in that. You can see all the little scratches and stuff.
Exactly, right? And that would really be altered with if the ISO is too high.
I think it takes up just the right amount of the frame.
Mm-hmm. And the challenge that this was submitted for was turquoise, and it definitely suits the color turquoise.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Great shot.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
The top right corner, the little bit of a shadow coming from that corner piece. Yeah, right where your mouse is just over there, Gabriel. Yeah, right there. I find that to be a bit distracting. I don't know if maybe cropping it a little bit would...
I think cropping it in would ruin the
composition.
The negative space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Brian's wrong, and you shouldn't listen to him.
Hey, well, it's not like that hasn't happened 40 times a minute. So,
or content-aware move tool, and just fill it in with something a little bit brighter.
Mm-hmm. Other very good tip. All right, very cool. Anything else to add on that one, guys?
No, I like it. I like it more zoomed in. Yeah, it's really nice.
Shows the clarity for sure. Okay, the next shot. I think it's another one from Marie for Depressed. The house burning down.
Oh, right. There we go.
There we are. Wow.
That's a sad-looking house.
It's so sad, actually. This time of year, it's always very scary. It's something that Shelly, my wife, and I always think about, and her mother probably thinks about it more, living in the basement of our house. We are candle fans. Like, we always have candles going. Shelly has converted a lot of those to the electronic battery-operated little flickery candles.
Yes.
Which are
only
great.
Candles I'll allow in my house.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people make that rule. Firemen that I know don't let anybody have any candles ever in their house. So
I created the fire. A friend of mine is a firefighter, and I created the fireman-approved candle. And it was a candle glued to a piece of wood with a fire extinguisher glued to the same piece of wood with a nozzle pointing straight on the candle.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Well, it's unfortunate that this happened. It's tough to submit this for a photo challenge. I mean, yeah, I get the depressed side of it. If I were to make a suggestion, my thought would be to make it more about the house and less about the light, like the pole on the side and the snow in the front. So maybe crop in a little bit, right? Yeah. But other than that, I mean, it's more of a journalistic approach to photography than it would be anything different than that. Do you agree, guys?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, just a sec. Just trying to zoom in here. If you zoom in and you take it so that these are the eyes and that's the mouth, then it looks more shocked than depressed. But
playing on these poor people's burnt down house emotion. I wonder if they thought that in the movie Poltergeist. I know the house is imploding into the earth, but if you paid more attention to the eyes and the nose of the house, a much better photo.
I'll bet you if you look closely, the house looks shocked in Poltergeist.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move along past this guy here for a sec. Thanks again, Marie, for submitting for that one. Now, good job. One thing about being a photographer and being into photography is that you're able to capture moments like this where more, the average person would just sort of drive by.
And I just spawned a story in my head. I was shooting up a mitzvah this weekend, and it was not. I don't want to say this on YouTube, but nobody knows any names. It was not the best DJ, and he wasn't. He didn't get the crowd, and the kids weren't responding to him, and he's trying to start a dance circle where everybody's, somebody goes in and dances and gets the crowd riled up and stuff like that. So he decides that he's going to go in and he's going to do this big backflip. And it's going to be his big move and it's going to get the crowd going. So he does this big backflip. What he doesn't count on is that there's one child there that was mentally challenged. And while he was getting geared up to do his backflip, the kid decided to run right across the middle of the dance floor, and he ended up doing his big backflip and landing on the child. So the one move that was supposed to rile up the whole crowd just ended up everybody just screaming. Everybody was fine, nobody was injured or anything. But as a photographer, my first thought was, did I get the picture? So and then saw that everybody was okay and everything, and continued on with the evening. But it was
yeah. I've been known to detach myself from being in a moment to capture the image. It's weird, when you're in this world of photography. Sometimes you feel a little extra safe behind the lens of a camera.
Yeah,
like you have some protection.
I think it varies too. Like if I had seen that he had flipped and kicked him in the head or something like that, then probably my first reaction would have been that. But because I was, on the outside looking in, watching the whole thing, I saw how everything happened. I knew nobody was going to be injured. But
it's funny. Yeah. I know it's completely not what you're talking about, but it kind of makes me remember back when the Blue Jays won the World Series the first year. I was living in Oshawa at the time, and everybody went nuts. Do you guys remember when this happened? Everybody went nuts. I mean, it was freaking crazy. There were people in the streets trying to tip cars. I had to climb a light post to get away from all the people mobbing in the bottom. I mean, it was ridiculous. I was walking around trying to prevent people from tipping cars, and all of a sudden somebody comes out like, Brian, there's death threats against you. You might want to leave. And I'm like, are you kidding me? What, are we in L.A.? Like, what's going on? But it's just, you feel so detached. I just wish I was into photography at the time. I could have made some pretty sweet photos during all of that ruckus, but nah. Oh, and later that night, our house was broken into, which is really cool. We chased criminals and almost got stabbed and shot. It was pretty fun. But that's another story for another time. So on to the next photo.
All right.
Yeah. It's actually a true story, too. Jennifer's, there's a lot of posts here, and it kind of goes back to what some of the other people were, some of the other photos. Apparently on this section of the beach, the water froze, a storm came up and broke up the ice, and it froze again, and there were all these jumbled pieces sticking up over a mile. The wind is what made the ice nice and smooth. So that's for the ice photo. Very cool. Where
are we looking?
I think that was...
here. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think that was that one.
This one I'm going to have a hard time reviewing because it's such a low...
Wow.
Such a small image.
Color's cool.
It is. That's a turquoise. Okay, so this was a shot that was taken on our last Fire on Ice session. This is Sensei J with his, I believe this is probably the staff that he was spinning around. It was a really neat effect in the photo. It was pretty unpredictable where he was going to swing it. And this is a nice close crop. It shows you all the detail that you're looking for in that shot. It is a very low-res photo, Jen, so I think you might have downsampled this a bit too much, or maybe cropped it a bit too far, because it's breaking up quite a bit when you look at it at a normal size. Anything to add on that, guys?
I like the color. I like the edit that was done on that.
It is nice color. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Let's try. That was a little bit bigger.
Behind the scenes shot. That's kind of cool.
So this was also taken there, and that's me. Yay. Okay, so now this is my winning pick.
Oh, dear.
That's me right on the bottom right corner there.
How do you guys feel about the watermark?
Okay, now, I am all for watermarks, and in a way it kind of helps us know that, yes, this is another Jennifer photo. But I think we all agree that the whole point of this community is to prevent people from resharing people's photos or having any kind of theft. And it is a very, very big watermark, and it does draw your eye quite well, you know. So I don't know. I'm not a super fan, but I mean, I totally agree with Jennifer's choice of using it, and it's a very nice looking watermark. Why? Why do you ask?
No, it pulls me out of the a watermark that big pulls me out of the image a lot, but that's just me.
I only noticed the Daytripper photo on my back.
Yes, I noticed.
That just makes me happy.
That's great.
Navi, anything to add?
I agree with Gabriel. It's I mean, when I look at that picture, the first thing I look at is the name, and then I look at the blue.
And I think that's partially because it's such a dark photo all around.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't mind it too much because it is not covering an important part of the picture. It is often sort of some negative space.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, it doesn't bother me too much. It's a little bit big for my taste, but that's all right.
Yeah. But it's still a great shot. I think for Jennifer's photos of her baby and things like that, where there's a lot of light areas around the edges, it's a little less problematic just because it is light, and light against light isn't going to be as much contrast and draw your eye away from what you're trying to see as much. But in a shot like this, I totally agree with you, Gabe. I think that, A, I don't think it's super necessary to put it on just because of the environment that we're sharing it, and B, it is another bright spot of contrast that draws your eye away from the focal point of the shot.
You know what? For me, I put my watermark on. It's just my website in the corner there, but I pretty much put it on everything that is not a personal shot. Like, if I'm just posting a photo of my cat, I don't own a cat, but if I did, and posted a photo of a cat on Facebook, it's my watermark. But if I post anything, it's just in my export, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just. I mean, if someone's gonna steal your photo, they're gonna make it happen. But
yeah, the only time I'll put a watermark on my own stuff is if I'm shooting for the wrestling, and that's because they are going to use that photo. They're going to put it everywhere, and if I don't have my watermark on there, nobody will ever know that it was my photo.
Yeah,
what's the point of it? Because that's why I do it, right? To get my name out there. So, yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's move along. Unless you have something else to add there, Gabriel.
No.
All right, cool. Tiny ice crystals on a backyard pond. They're so thin that as soon as the sun passes over them, they melt. The water below reflects as turquoise. Interesting. I thought it was really cool to see with the camera what was barely visible with the eye. I took so many photos for this week's challenge of all sorts of things, but this was interesting and unusual. There's a macro world of pond ice crystals, snowflakes, and frozen bubbles, and probably lots of other unique wintry crystals out there. It's true. That's absolutely true. We're so used to seeing like the Don Komarechka snowflake photo, you forget that you open up your door to go outside your house and there's ice crystals on your window that can be really cool photos too.
I have no idea what this photo was of. It's really neat. The focus is off to the left, I think. So I'm trying to. I thought it was maybe blurry, but it's shot at 1/400th of a second. But it's not image blur. I think the focus is just closer to the left. Right? Am I right?
Yeah, I think you're right with that.
It just kind of distracted my eye for a second there.
So this is also shot with a macro lens, the 105 Nikon, on a full frame, with a slightly more open aperture than the previous macro shot, I believe that Julie had shot. So again, it kind of lends to the fact that with macros, your depth of field is so shallow that you're having focus, like Navi says, over there on the left, but on the top right, it's very out of focus. So that's tough to work with. Come in from a straight-on angle, make it a bit flatter might help a little bit with that at least, or shooting at a deeper depth of field with maybe a tripod or something like that to get the stability up.
I think you just have to be careful with if you're focusing and recomposing as well. I've sort of discovered that trying to shoot these dishes that I'm focusing, and the second I recompose, my focus is kind of off because it's so shallow, right?
I'm just going to quickly go to the Q&A here for a quick sec. Jen says that from a business perspective, she watermarks all of her photos big and through the middle and at low opacity. She said entire galleries stolen and republished. So from then on, big watermarks everywhere online. I get that. I totally get that. And Again, I've had a lot of my wrestling photos used without my permission for a lot of different things, and I will personally just reach out to that wrestler and say, hey, there's a reason I have my watermark on there. Don't crop it off, which they do. And with a watermark like Jen's, you could probably do that as well. Of course, that would kill the photo. But you know what? It's your personal preference. And when we're talking about a composition or a photo for a photo contest, when we're trying to judge it based on the overall composition and how it appeals to the eye, of course, something distracting like that would be discussed. So that's why we talked about it. Tammy says it's a macro on the center of a pond, but I could not go in the pond, so I shot from the side of a pond. Well, that makes perfect sense. You don't want to go on the ice if it's going to get you wet.
You can go in the pond. I've proven that.
Yeah.
Yes, don't want to do it for any more than 2 seconds.
Yeah, right. And did you have a camera on you, and were you taking macro pictures of ice?
No.
No. That's a neat shot, Tammy. Thank you. All right, we've got a few more to go, and we're already about 6 minutes past when our show was supposed to be over. So let's breeze through these here. Here's another one from Tammy for turquoise. Also tried some architecture. This is a pharmacy building at the University of Waterloo, and the window panels are designed with plants used in herbal medicines. Interesting. Actually, there's 2 photos from Tammy here, so let's just talk about them both at the same time. There's the 2 shots. There's this one, and then there's the close-up shot. Which do you guys prefer? I think I go over the close-up shot.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
Because you can't really see the plants on the far shot, although it's nice that we got a reference and saw what the entire building looks like. But yeah, that's really interesting. I've never seen this building before.
I always thought those were the Google offices, because I go to the Google offices in Waterloo a fair amount, and when I first went there, I kind of pulled into that parking lot because I'm like, well, this must be the Google office, but it wasn't. So that created some awkward moments.
Anything Google just attracts you like honey and bees.
No, I go there for lectures and workshops and stuff.
Okay, cool. Well, it's an interesting shot. I find it's a bit overexposed on the right side, just a bit on the hot side. A little bit of loss of detail in some of the areas there, but it's a pretty small thing, isn't it? And also the upper right side, there's that big black border part of the building, which I think could, yeah, exactly there, Gabriel, which I think maybe have really benefited from a slight crop because it stops the eye and then there's a little bit of more brightness off that corner. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So just a little slight crop on that top corner there, and that would have helped that a little bit. Anything to say on that, Navi?
No, I think I agree with what you said. Actually, that black line I didn't really see until you pointed it out. But I did see the hot spot that my eye kind of goes there.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny. I was riding with Blake, our friend Blake, the other day, and he made the comment how, it's contrast that attracts the eye and not brightness. Because I always interpreted it as brightness, but it's contrast, the difference of bright to dark. So when I'm seeing these pictures today, I'm really realizing that it's a lot more than just brightness that's attracting my eye. It's the contrast of bright to dark. So that's why that bar in the top right corner really stood out to me, because all of a sudden you go from thin little lines to this big black line, and then another little bit of lightness behind it, and that's the contrast we're talking about. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Anything to add, Gabriel?
No, I think you pretty much summed it all up.
All right, then. Let's move it along. And remember, guys, we've got to pick a winner soon, so make sure you've got your winning picks thought out. Okay, so this is Lori's shot for turquoise. I'm really happy that she put the word turquoise on there, because I would not have figured that out otherwise. All right, so what do you think about this, Navi?
It's very turquoisey. It looks like a graphic.
Yeah, it's very graphic. But the word definitely gives you that impression, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious about the halos around the edge of the flower, what that might have been caused by. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I think the whole background is cut out, so you're probably seeing a little bit of a spill over the original background.
Oh yeah.
And then it's obviously enhanced And then, and it probably, my guess is, if she did this in Photoshop or Lightroom, it probably looks a lot better on her computer. But when you get something that's stressed out and then you upload it to an online service where they compress the image, then you end up seeing a little bit more banding on the online version than you see on the local version.
Yeah, that makes sense. Interesting. Well, nonetheless, it was definitely it applies for the Photo Challenge Turquoise. It's an interesting.
Turquoise and orange, or is it blue and black?
That's a very Henry's orange color, isn't it?
It is Henry's.
That's like total Henry's color right there. Sorry.
Really? Because I see
blue and black.
Purple.
No, I see blue and black. If you just move this way a little bit.
You mean if like you turn off your computer monitor, all of a sudden you see black?
What color is the dress?
Or turquoise and white from this side.
Okay, so this is one thing that we always have to remember. Once the show goes past 11 o'clock, that's when we start to get silly. So I think it's just as well that we came to the last photo of the night right there and then. Okay, so I think we've picked the winner for this week's photo challenge, and it was a 2-to-1 vote on the winner for this week's challenge. And since we had 2 whole weeks to talk about, we have to have 2 whole winners. So the one winner that was picked was for week 1, and we still need a winner for week 2.
What was week 2? Turquoise and depressed?
Turquoise and depressed.
Okay.
So while we work on that,
I'm okay with your decision.
I concur.
All right, cool. So the winner for the first week of Photo Challenge goes to... no sound effects?
Oh, what? Wait, I'm on it. Wrong one.
Goes to Julie for her flaming Sambuca photo. Very nice. Well done, Julie. And for the second week photo challenge, and by the way, the winners of these photo challenges, of course, they get our amazing, amazing prize from our friends at LensPen, a LensPen accessory, which I have in a box underneath the desk, which I'll pull out and give to the winner when I announce the next one. Okay, so the next, it's so late now. The next winner goes to, I believe that is Marie Richardson for her ice photo. The shapes, the sharpness, the lighting. That's the shot that won our affection. So, excellent job, guys. Well done to everybody who submitted photos this week. Thank you all so much for doing that. Gabriel, thank you for doing the screen shares and the help with the review. And Navi, of course, thank you as well. Let's go into one last time the reason we're not doing a photo challenge this week. So we have a unique idea for our show next week. Next week's photo show is called
Photo or PHOGO.
Photo. B-H-O-T-O?
B-H-O-T-O.
All right, B-H-O-T-O. Photo. Boto.
Photo.
I don't know why I have such a hard time.
Photo.
All right, so what it is photo bingo. So B-H-O-T-O. And we're going to have boards made up, and the boards are going to be, actually, we're going to give you a site to go to where you can download your board, and each board you download would be a random board. And when we start the show, you get your board all ready, you have it up on the screen, and every once in a while, we will call out a word. And if your word is on your board, you mark it off. You take your Bodo pen, and you dab it right across the whole line there. It could be a pencil, it could be a pen. Just not a lens pen because you need the carbon on the tip of the lens pen. You don't want to use that. So, yeah, so once you've got your board complete, or a straight line or a cross or all the little rules that bingo plays, then you yell out in the Q&A, Bodo! And we say, oh, we have a winner, we have to check. You take a photo, you share it in the community, we authorize that you have won this prize, and the show will be over. Just like that. I guess? No? Somebody wins? Stop broadcast? That's it? We're done? Navi, are you okay?
It's like, and the show's over.
And we're done. Anyway,
well, we should play 2 rounds, I'm sure.
It should be a fun show. We'll play it by ear. Either way, it's a unique thing. It's something fun, something different, and it came to Navi in her dream. So of course we have to do it. Brilliant. Okay, guys. Anything else in the Q&A before we say goodnight? No questions? No anything there? Not. Oh wait.
Already.
You're welcome, Julie. Thank you so much for watching and for submitting. Like always, you're awesome. Okay, so no photo challenge, guys. Go out and have fun. If you want to make pictures, then make it say Daytripper photo. Seriously, it makes me happy. I don't know, not like I matter or anything, but whatever. Why not? All right, so Gabe, where can folks get a hold of you?
People want to get a hold of me, they can contact me at bousquetphotography.ca.
Excellent. And why would they want to get a hold of you?
Well, I do a lot of weddings and corporate events and headshots and special events and pretty much a bunch of everything. Personal training, you name it.
Personal training. Oh, it's a whole new job path for you now. You've lost 20 pounds and now you're a personal trainer.
No. I mean personal training in photography.
Oh.
Not in. No, I had a guy the other day come up. I was at the gym and I'm using one of the machines, and he's like, "Can I give you a little tip on how to use that machine?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, absolutely." He's like, "You're on it backwards." Hey! That's why it hurts so much.
Oh, that's awesome.
So were you like doing the sit-ups like the wrong way?
No, it was like a chin-up machine thing.
You're going like,
I was
rocking it out.
Most of the machines have little pictures on them, and so I just kind of walk up the machine, I look at the picture, and I follow that. But this one didn't have any pictures, so I went on and I kind of sat on the best way that I thought I could, and it turns out it was the other way.
That's funny.
I pictured you like on the blue mat. Instead of sitting on the mat, you're sitting on the floor next to it.
And Navi, where can folks hire you or get a hold of you?
Creeping out Gabriel at the gym. You can find me at navynum.com.
That's
well,
awesome.
navynum.com.
Maybe numb. And Navi, of course, for wedding photography and fashion photography. You're a freaking genius, man. You're freaking genius.
Or Cray.
Cray. So Cray. Okay, so yeah, the portrait session this Sunday. There are still a few spots open.
Oh, yes.
So if you want to register for this portrait session, Gabriel gave a description of what we're talking about earlier on the show. But there's still space. Go to daytripperphoto.com and you can register for that right away. I think there's like 2 spots or 3 spots still left for that. So excellent. And if you guys want to register for any day trips, like I say, there's the website. It's right there, daytripperphoto.com. You just check it out. There's all kinds of new sessions being added. I know I put the schedule up a little earlier on, but we held on to a few of these awesome things that we've been working on until today, and there's still some more that we're going to announce down the road. And again, those new sessions that we just announced today, one of them is our indoor low-light action series on wrestling, professional wrestling at Battle Arts Academy in Mississauga. We're doing this at Santino Marella's gym. For those of you who know WWE wrestling, Santino Marella with the Cobra. I'm a wrestling fan. Anyway, it's awesome. The guy's hilarious, and I can't wait to hang out with him at the facility during this event. And also our indoor light painting at the Horror House, the Thornhill Woods Haunted House event on October 26th. Oh, April 12th for the low light action, October 26th for indoor light painting at Horror House. Horror House. Jen, just thought I'd enunciate that properly for you. Daytripper Photo is not doing any sessions at the whorehouse. Just thought. Although, no, I'm not going to go there. So thank you all so much for watching us. We try and leave you with a quote, something that makes you think every once in a while. I got a quote for tonight's show. This is from Alfred Hitchcock, pretty well-known filmmaker back in the day. He says, "Self-plagiarism is style." So self-plagiarism is style. I think that's interesting when you think about it. The more you repeat yourself, the more you plagiarize your own work, it turns into your style. So kind of interesting. All right, so that's it. Bid adieu, which means goodbye. So good night, everybody. Thank you all for watching. Gabriel, thank you so much. Navi, thank you as well.
Pleasure.
And we'll see everybody next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.